Hey, welcome back to the Break Room Podcast.
Oh, we already started off fucking wrong.
No,
Right,
we're
started.
good.
Stop the
It's
stream.
perfectly
Start it
timed.
over.
It was perfect. No,
Oh,
it was
it was
great.
perfect.
it was faster
perfect.
than usual. I like
Yes,
it.
it is.
We're getting better.
Times
Get that
better.
much closer. There was
All right,
no
Rob,
delay.
take us home, Rob.
Take us home.
Take us
Jesus.
home. Fuck,
Well,
we just got here.
What, you got to take a shit, Joe? You
Take
gonna
my
leave
wife,
early
please.
again?
Take my
Get
wife.
the fuck out of here.
Now you can't leave.
Give us
Now you
some.
just
Give
can't
us
leave.
some. What's his name? Take my wife, please. Fucking not Benny Youngman. Sorry. What's his name? Fucking the comedian you're always impersonating.
You mean Rodney Dangerfield?
Rodney, give us some Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, what a crowd. What a
What a
crowd.
crowd. What a crowd. I got no respect at all, you kidding? I took my wife to a dude ranch. She went off with some dude. We were dating. She said, come over. There's nobody home. I went over. There was nobody home.
There's also the one. It's like, but the eyesight's perfect. So
Already off the
I
rails.
went to my doctor, Dr. Vinny Goombats. You know my doctor. I says, doctor, I wake up every morning, I look in the mirror, and I throw up. What's wrong with me? He says, I don't know, but your eyesight is perfect.
Oh man.
There you go.
And we're live, pal. Here we
We're
go.
live.
Black
and we're
belt
back.
and self-deprecation. I love them.
Obviously, sans Vin this week. Vin is was he in Green Bay? Is that what he's doing?
He
He's
is
going to
going
Packers.
to his first ever Green Bay Packer game at Lambeau Field. The
The
frozen tundra in Lambeau
There's
Field.
no way it's his first ever. He's gone to Green Bay.
No, he's
before.
been.
Not at Lambeau Field.
Really?
Is that a new stadium or something?
No, it's the oldest stadium, Lambeau Field.
Lambeau Calrissian?
Lambeau County.
Lando.
Colt
Han.
45.
Works every time. Speaking of Lando, I've been listening to Heir to the Empire since I finished The Lord of the Rings.
Han?
No, he does a great job.
Oh, he
Mark
does do a
Thompson?
great job. He
Mark
sounds
Thompson
exactly like Lando.
He fucking kills it with
Yeah,
everybody.
he's
Han,
so good.
Luke, you know, maybe not Leia, but, you know, you can't blame the guy for that.
Yeah, he can't.
You know, you can't sound like Harry.
He does everybody else pretty
He
damn
does
good.
fantastic.
And even he does a decent Leia for a guy. You know what
You
I mean?
might hate this of me, though. I like his Thrawn better in the canon books. Like his voice. I feel like his voice is more regular.
Well,
It's not as
in the canon books, he still has his voice changes. He still has like almost at the first he almost talks like this, like a Jeet. But then it slowly starts to fade and it becomes more imperial. And after so much time, that fades. That was by design that he did it like that. He built the voice and changed it over time.
Whoa.
But I am enjoying it. Yeah, it's a long time since I listened to it. And you know me, I got no fucking memory, so it's almost like listening to a book, like a brand new book. So, yeah, Audible's been killing it, man. You know, with
Told you.
everything.
Told you.
No
I mean,
more,
how many? Let's think about it. How many books have I listened to now?
no
listened
more
to-
road rage.
I listened to the Darth Plagueis book. I listened to the 3 canon Thrawn trilogy books. I listened to Ahsoka. I listened to The Hobbit, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. And now I'm on my 10th book, which is Heir to the Empire.
We got to get somebody, maybe from the dungeon will be willing to do it, that can find the episode where I like prescribe to you some Audible for your road rage before you ever even got into it. Because I'm
No, I'll
telling you,
give
man,
you full credit.
it's crazy
You're the one
that,
that got me into it.
But you know what's crazy is that it's been that many because I didn't even realize how much. And that was my whole point, was that you could really fucking power through books when you do something like an audiobook. You know, you could do it while you drive. Half the time, it's probably when you're driving to work.
Sometimes I'll throw it on while I'm taking a shower or
Yeah.
if I'm just sitting outside smoking. I'm like, you know what? Let
That's
me
what I'm saying.
throw on a book instead of like fucking shoving my face into my phone and social media.
Yeah.
It's mentally healthier.
I agree. I'll actually sometimes go home. I won't even put on the TV. I'll just put on the audio book and I'll listen and, you know.
I
do
will
whatever
say
else.
that my comic books are like a little behind now. I got to like catch up on a lot of comic book reading because I've been sitting outside with the audiobook instead.
Oh, no.
But it's been great, you know. I got no complaints with the audio service and stuff like that. But into our first topic, I got my little main man Venom here for a shout out for the Spider-Man 2 video game that came out for PlayStation 5.
Oh, we're not talking about that yet.
No, that's what we're starting with.
No, we're starting with this.
Oh, all right. We're jumping the gun a little bit.
Help.
Here. We do have some toys on the table first that we want to talk about. Joe, why don't you show them the guys that I
Start with
scooped for you?
start with the Star Wars
Why don't you
stuff.
please
You were just talking about Star Wars audiobooks.
I was talking about Star Wars.
Motherfucker, you.
I got to move the fucking
Did you ever
thing.
go over my
I gotta hope
fucking
he
head
doesn't
again,
fall.
you
see what you're doing to
motherfucker,
me?
you?
All right.
You just
so-
didn't want to move, you lazy
I didn't.
fuck.
I didn't want to move because I didn't want to knock Venom off the fucking thing. All right. I gotta bring him over here so I could show him off one by one. First up, I got 3 6-inch Star Wars figures off of Amazon. First up was Darth Revan. Really, really sick figure. He's got some cloth elements to his outfit, which I always appreciate on toys. Next up, we got Darth Malgus.
Malgus. Holy shit. Let me
And
see
he's
that.
from the Old Republic.
I read a book with Malgus. It was a great book. It was, I
Yeah.
think, like Deceived or something it was called.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to check him out?
He has like a Twi'lek, like secret love slave.
You really need to play Knights of the Old Republic.
And then
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull
from
this
Knights
up
of the
here.
Old Republic, I have Darth Malik.
Yes.
Malik.
Very, very cool. I thought these figures were pretty sick.
Yeah, pass them my way because I got a better shot on them when I show it here.
Here, I'll give you Revan, too.
Good,
And there's also a Jedi Revan, because Revan could go either way.
It's kind of weird that
make him
you
a
can't
Sith or a
see. I
Jedi.
don't like boxes that aren't plastic that you can't see.
Fucking
the
terrible.
toy
Oh, I
itself.
hate that shit. And
It's kinda
I
weird
will
to
say
me.
that's a grinds my gears segment right there. Fucking toys that don't have the window.
Yeah.
They did the entire fucking line of Indiana Jones windowless, and I think that's why the toy line failed.
Just let me pull this up here. A little bit of reflection
Yeah,
there.
Revan's
but
definitely a favorite.
that's sick, dude.
I'm heavily considering getting the Star Killer figure that they're coming out with. They just announced it on Hasbro, and they actually announced on Hasbro Pulse the new HasLabs project is actually going to be a PKE meter and a fucking ghost trap that are on the same quality level as the Proton Pack and the Neutrona one that I currently have. It's pretty pricey. I think it's like $300 for the two of them. I don't know if I'm going to back it or not. I'm going to probably lean towards no. Number one, because I don't have the money. Number two, because I already have a PKE meter and a ghost trap. So I don't know if it's worth, because it's probably going to hit the campaign goals. And what's cool is it's actually going to come with, if it hits the stretch goals, the holsters so that you can hang them from a belt, which I thought was a nice touch. I do want to eventually build a Peter Griffin Ghostbuster. I want to get the suit. I'll have to go on the website. One of the cosplay guys from the Long Island Ghostbusters ended up giving me a website where I can custom order one of those flight suits. So I'll be able to. I can even get it in a 2-piece so that I can wear pants and a jacket instead of having to put a whole flight suit on.
I think next year for Comic-Con, all 4 days you should go as Peter Griffin dressed up as somebody else.
I'm not bringing that fucking pack to Manhattan. Not after the whole backpack fiasco.
I get a
I'm
hotel.
telling you, dude, Shrek, you'll fucking kill it.
Oh my
I'm
god.
telling you, you
God.
would go viral all over again. Just go as
Or
Shrek.
be
People would
fucking green all
fucking
day.
cry and shit their pants if
Do you
they
know how
saw
long
you as
it'll
Shrek.
take to paint him green?
Paint them green, but I'm saying the fucking like the burlap, fucking whatever,
Well, you know,
the
we could
corduroy.
really cheat, and I could do like a morph suit that's like green and cut the face out, and then you could just, or even cut as
Put
much,
the ears on,
put the ears on top.
dude.
of
If you're
that.
doing the voice,
Rob, give us some Shrek.
What are you doing in my swamp? Donkey.
donkey, yeah, that's you. Perfect, dude. You'd kill it. I'm telling you, go viral all over again. They'd be like, Peter Griffin is now Shrek.
All
You
these
know?
strange creatures are walking around me at New York Comic Con.
Real
and I
Rocket
don't
Boy
know
is in the
what's
house.
happening.
Real Rocket Boy, welcome.
Great
What's
guy.
up? What's up? I gotta let the gang know.
He's got a
we're
good
live,
channel.
too.
He was actually
But,
featured by the makers of I forget the name of the game, Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that?
It's like a new game that's coming out. That, I can't even really explain. I still don't really know what the fuck it is, but I know that the guy from Rockstar, I think Leslie Benzies, one of the guys that left Rockstar, went to make this game, and it's I think like an online game that's like 24/7, always online, and you could build stuff or something. I don't know much about it, but Real Rocket Boy has been killing it. We also have
Rocket
Peachy
Man.
Sweet, which we can confirm is another sweet out there. So
How sweet it is.
from one sweet to another,
Oh,
welcome.
sweet.
to
So,
be loved
I can't see because it's covered by a heart, but it says Rob the Goat something for real. There you go. Rob's
How
the
you
goat.
doing, Peachy? It's been a while, but hope everything's good for you over there. Warm state of Texas.
Lone Star State.
She was the one that was at Bonsai Con last year that dressed like Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and we got some good pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart.
You said it's actually sweet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never
sweet.
really met another sweet.
Well, there you go.
person.
Virtually
Or
meeting.
person either.
There you go.
What other toys you got over there? Are those Joe's
Joe.
there?
So I got lucky, actually, and I went to Walmart, and they had, like, pegs full of the fucking wrestling figures, the superstars.
But these are from a year ago. And
Yeah,
these
so
were
they must have
not.
gotten some old stock. Now, I will say I went back to that Walmart today. They said they were supposed to have, like, 19 Hulk Hogans, but there was nothing on the shelf. And they fucking wouldn't go into the back to ask. He was like, yo, man, there's 100 pallets. They'll probably have it out by tomorrow. So I might try to hit Walmart tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Try to see if they
Blue
have the Hulk
boots.
Hogans. Cause,
I need it.
Will you ever stop buying toys?
Probably not. I kid myself and say, oh, yeah, well, this is it. I got to stop. And then I fucking find something else that's like when those Ninja Turtles He-Man figures come out, I'm not going to be able to control myself. It's not going to be, I'm telling you now, I'm going to have them all. I'm going to probably have 2 of each so I can open them.
So, yeah, just to kind of go over what we picked up, I'm actually going to unbox 2 of them. I'm going to open them up because I display them in my house. Even though that the 2 figures here are pretty expensive figures because they're no longer readily in stock. But the one figure that's on the second to last series that just came out, this is one that Rob needed to complete his collection. You're still missing Ravishing Rick Rude, which is the rarest figure. He's 1 per case. If you ever see him, make sure you scoop him because he's like $100 figure.
One of my wrestling cosplay friends actually posted a picture that they got a Ravishing Rick.
This is the Earthquake, a.k.a. John Tenta. And
the natural disasters?
He is wearing his natural disasters.
And Glacier, right? Was that the teammate?
No, Typhoon.
Typhoon. Glacier is something else entirely.
Glacier is the Mortal Kombat character from WCW.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero character. Ripoff. Right. Next on the list, we got... want to give me a little theme music here, Chris?
Little honky-tonk man.
He's a honky-tonk man.
Yeah, honky-tonk man.
I'm not the honky-tonk man.
I'm cool. I'm happy. I'm bad.
I got a mean guitar. I got the blue suede shoes. I'm going to hear you sing.
Yeah.
He's honky-tonk man. So, yeah, the honky-tonk man. I'm cool. I'm cocky. I'm bad.
The longest reigning intercontinental champion until Gunther.
Until Gunther.
The Ringa General.
General, here's Gunther. So, yeah, we're going to unbox the honky-tonk man today. He comes fully garbed out with his cloth goods robe and the guitar.
That's cloth, right? Not plastic?
No, these are all soft goods.
Yeah, that's nice.
These are really...
It's like
really
the old Remco
velvety.
figures.
These are like in the vein of the AWA Remco figures from the 80s, which are the line that actually superseded the LJN line. They kind of beat them to the market by a couple of months just to spite them for not picking up the license for WWF. And they're also kind of in the vein of like the He-Man, which was a ripoff. The Remco AWA figures was a ripoff of He-Man figures. So... oh, yeah, we got another rare one here.
It's not so rare. They actually still had a Macho Man and a couple of rocks on the peg.
The cream will always rise to the top. Yeah. You are garbage, Tito Santana. Just a green in the Sahara Desert. There is Macho Man. Dig it! Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to unbox the Macho Man Randy Savage, unbox him, and... so those are our wrestling pickups of the week. And I'm going to go ahead and give it over to you, Rob, while I open these up.
Oh, so...
Give us some ASMR. Rip them into the... that's the sound of like a 30-year-old seal right there. Fucking tearing.
I didn't know that's a fucking thing. Right? ASMR.
It is the thing.
Toy.
You sick fuck.
You got to smell it. No smell.
It's the first thing you got to do when you open a toy. You got to smell it.
Sometimes the smell is the first thing that
It's
actually goes, though. It fades away. Sitting on an asbestos
Some
shelf.
toys have amazing
You know what the
smells.
best thing, though? So here's a little pro tip. If you get like one of those like old plastic M&M containers or something like that, and you put all the weapons and shit that come with toys in there, when you open up that thing, it smells like those new toys always. Yeah. So you can really capture that smell. Yeah.
Somebody should make a new toy candle, like a new toy smell candle.
It would probably trigger something in brains that would like make them keep buying.
How could you encapsulate that though?
I don't know. They fucking managed
it has to be like
do
rubber. It's got to be like a plastic or a rubber,
give
like
him a little
something.
tug. He's got a guitar too, right?
He does have a guitar, and he does have removable hands that actually can hold the guitar. So at one point, I'll actually switch his hands out, and I'll put the guitar in his hand.
I mean, it's a great likeness.
He's
these figures. They
you can
look a lot
actually
like
take
the
the
guys.
robe. You can take his robe fully off, and he has his tights underneath it too.
Don't
which
make
is
him
more
naked.
accurate.
Fun fact: the Honky Tonk Man I think he's Jerry the King Lawler's cousin.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at that.
I think I heard that.
No, it's not true.
I think it's true. I'm pretty sure I heard that.
I think so.
I don't think so, Tim.
It don't work for me,
I'll
brother.
look it up.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Freeing me from my plastic prison.
Oh, he's got his headband. He's got the Macho Man glasses. Yeah, fully decked out. The Macho Madness. Yeah. Another 180 degrees, Miss Elizabeth. Yeah.
There you go.
Is he?
Their mothers are real sisters.
Okay,
Yeah.
his cousin.
I made a
Cousin.
scene for it.
It's
but-
cousin.
Cousin. Let's go bowling.
Hey, they're first cousins. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
If their mothers are sisters, I mean, come on.
Sisters. Sister.
Fun fact.
This is a great Macho Man figure, and also his robe, soft goods, fully comes off, and he does have the Macho Man tights under that, and he does have alternate hands. So yeah, this is a great looking figure. And on the back, he's got the Macho Madness. Yeah.
Freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are awesome. I'm
Can't do it
definitely
anymore.
adding these to my collection. I did pick up Roddy Piper today as well.
You know what
Oh,
we need
dude.
now? We need a genius Lanny Poffo figure.
They never made a Genius figure. I think the Jack Specific Legends Classic Superstores line had a Genius figure, and it was the only Genius figure. So Mattel, if you're out there and you're listening, probably not. I'll go fuck myself. Get us a Genius figure. We'd really like that.
We need it with the graduation
Lanny
cap
Poffo.
and everything.
Leapin' Lanny. Give us a Leapin' Lanny figure.
He was a really nice guy. One of
He's
the
apparently
nicest
able
people.
to fillet himself.
What?
Yeah. Apparently he was able
That's
to.
fucking random.
Yeah, I heard it recently on Jim Cornette podcast.
Well, good for you. You don't like blowjobs then.
Well, not for myself. I can break my spine.
Like Marilyn Manson. Don't you
can't.
love how everybody in middle
I
school
can't.
somehow knew that
And that
Marilyn
was-
Manson had his rib cage?
yeah, that was like the urban legend.
Did
you know that
fucking
Marilyn Manson?
But it's amazing that like that urban legend went from middle schools across America. Like
That's true.
people didn't even know each other.
From the
and everybody
dungeons
knew
in the
that shit.
house.
Oh, there he is.
It's like those S's, you know, with the six
Yeah,
lines. It's
what
like
the fuck was
everybody
that?
knew that shit. But like
It's
where the
memes
fuck did
before
it
they were
come from?
memes, dude. It
That's
was-
that was on every school desk. I wrote it on
Everywhere.
every book
Nobody
there.
knows where it came from.
It's
or
like
what it
a,
means.
I don't know,
I always thought it was Superman.
Like graffiti.
like a,
Like a graffiti S, but
Yeah.
like I don't know. Mysteries of the unknown.
if you're under 30, you probably don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Well,
This is the Old Fuck
what the show
Podcast.
is.
Welcome back. Thank you.
yeah.
I taught it to my niece though, the S. So I was like, I'm gonna keep it going. Maybe that's
That's
how it goes. You know?
Certain traditions you can pass on.
Rob,
That's it.
while Venom up there is marinating,
He is.
why don't you tell us your accomplishment of the week, the meat and potatoes of our topic this week? Now that we have some
now
built-in
that we're talking
audience,
about
now you can
it.
talk
now I
about
can
it.
talk about
Now
it.
you can
Go
talk
fuck
about it.
myself before.
Sick
but
bastard.
Let's hear it. In record time.
Nah, it's not record time. Plenty
No?
of people have done it before me.
For you, it's in record time.
No, I took a couple of days off.
Did you sleep? Did you shower?
I could
Did
have
you shit?
I could have beaten this game like 3 days earlier if I didn't have all the shit going on. For
Beating
my
the game
birthday
is
then.
one thing. Tell them what you did after you beat the game.
I platinumed it. I platinumed Spider-Man on PlayStation 5, and it was a hell of a ride. Fantastic game. I beat it very fast. I think within like 40 hours, 42 hours, I think, was the time that it took me to platinum, like from soup to nuts. And I was very efficient with this game. When shit appeared on the map, no matter what, I cleared the map before continuing the story. And then as the game progressed, more things would get unlocked for the map. And then once I finally finished the story, there were only a few trophies left to gain. Some of them you couldn't even get until after you finished the story. They're like things that you'd have to interact with that you can't until the game's finished. And I had a great time with it. You know, I have no regrets buying it. Graphically, it's really amazing because you can teleport to any part of the map with 0 loading screen. The level of detail they put in this game. Now, one one little grinds my gears about it is that they named Greenpoint Little Odessa. That's fucking bullshit. There is no such thing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
fucking
like, what the fuck is
Greenpoint.
that?
And the way I can prove it is that the streets in Little Odessa are actually the streets my parents grew up on. I found Kaya Street and Kingsland Avenue. My mother was from Kingsland Avenue. My father was from Kaya Street, and they're both in the game. And I took screenshots. I was actually sitting with my dad. I was showing him. And then we found Kaya Street together. It says, holy shit.
Wow.
Ain't that something that my street's in a video game? So down to the street names and everything. And then even small things like after you beat the game and stuff, when crimes pop up, like other characters that you've interacted with, like Miles, will be in this, like happen to be on the scene too, and like you could beat the bad guys together, and then interact with each other. And I did an interaction with Miles, and like they pointed at each other, like the meme.
I had the same.
It's just like a funny thing,
Yeah.
But when you swing to the buildings and you're crawling on the wall and you look in the windows, there's actually people in those buildings in little rooms and shit.
I haven't seen that.
No, you got to look. Trust me, it's amazing.
Yeah, he just demoed it for me before we started.
I just showed Joe the big technology when they came out with the first Spider-Man game was that in each individual window was like a mini re-rendering of the game in mirror form.
I remember that. Yeah.
Now it's like real fucking panes of glass with a slight reflection of yourself, but you can see in the fucking rooms. And it blew my mind. I'm like, there are people in here doing shit. Like, there's a lady at a fucking computer, and there's a guy at a copy machine.
There's
Like
2 women over there
there's
fucking
I
the polar
played
bear.
a pretty good amount of it. I never.
Yeah, you
noticed
got to
that.
like go into some like up to some of these buildings. I'm sure not all of the buildings, but like a lot of these tall business buildings in Manhattan.
Right.
Like, what? And another thing that was really disappointing for me personally was that the Chrysler Building is not in the game. And the reason why is that the Chrysler Building wanted too much money to be in the game to use their likeness. And they kind of said, go scratch your ass.
Really?
So it's actually not.
No, hold
in the
on
game.
a second. It's been in every other game.
This game, it's not. And I think that's ludicrous too, because
Ludicrous.
that was Kingpin's fucking headquarters.
The scandal.
That's where Crime Central was fucking the Chrysler.
I feel
Building
like
in the original cartoon.
How do you take the Chrysler Building out of New York City?
They did not want to have to pay for the likeness.
The
or
right,
it was
did
too
they take
much money,
Madison Square
or-
Garden out?
The garden was there.
Okay.
The garden was there.
I think I
Fucking
went to
Empire
it, but
State
I didn't even
Building
really
was
realize
there.
it was the garden.
The Statue of Liberty's there.
Oh, that has to be there.
The pen, the Flatiron Building's there. I
Brooklyn
mean, everything.
Bridge. You got the
What,
Brooklyn
what's
Bridge.
at the
Brooklyn
Chrysler
Bridge.
Building location? I'm still fixed. I can't get over that.
It's
I'm like mad.
ridiculous.
I'm furious
I'm
about
mad.
that.
I'm mad.
That's
It's
like
my
one of the
fa-
main buildings
that's my
that Spider-Man
favorite
was on
building in
top
Manhattan.
of. That's like it's always either the Empire State Building or the Chrysler
I bet you
Building.
that's why they wanted so much money. Like, how are you going to have your Spider-Man game without us? And then they're like,
Fucking
well,
greedy
wow.
Rob, let me ask
cocksuckers.
you
Greedy cocks.
two
No,
quick
fucking
questions.
make sure everyone hears it. They're greedy cocksuckers.
Makes me mad.
first one. How many hours did it take you to platinum this game?
I told you it was about 42 hours. I
Now,
have 43 total hours of gameplay, but that's
where does that
I
compare
already beat the game
to
and played an hour with
the
my
other two
niece.
Spider-Man games? The Spider-Man 1 and the Miles Morales. Was it around the same time?
Honestly,
You don't
I
remember?
think it was around the same with the first Spider-Man game because I remember beating that shit in like 3 or 4 days, and people were like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same MO. This is not anything. This
The
is
Spider-Man
what Rob
games
does.
are
Rob
very
doesn't play
beatable.
games. He violates them. He fucking
I
totally
dedicate my
tears
time
through
to them
them.
because I enjoy them. It's
Must be
like,
nice.
But a
All
week
right, Chris,
later-
go watch a movie and then stop it every 10 minutes and then walk around and like
That's
why would
not
you
the
do
same
that?
thing, though.
It is.
No.
It's a movie.
Rob,
it's a movie that
you
you're
platinum
in.
the game in 3 days,
No, not 3 days. It was
3
like
gameplay days.
4 days,
Yeah.
whatever.
3 days of playing.
all right.
Crazy.
Final
You're
question
nuts.
for you. Now that you've platinumed it
Uh-huh.
and you've played the other ones, you platinumed the other ones, and you've probably played every single Spider-Man game. Put this on the list for me, and before you put this on the list for me, where it falls under the Spider-Man games of all time, give me your final review score.
If I'm going to review the game, now I will have to deduct some points for the fact that 3 separate times the game crashed on me.
Crashed on me too.
Oh,
It
shit.
crashed on me 3 times, where it forced quit the application. I had to relaunch. But I will say that the autosave is a really good feature, and I didn't lose anything when I loaded back into the game. Like,
Okay.
literally, it was at the point where...
Yeah.
So, you know,
Drops right in.
it's like, it's not as much of a deduction as you think. I'd give the game a 9.2.
Nonsense.
I'll give it a 9.2.
We'll
give it a
get to
9.2
yours.
because
We'll
of
get to that.
the gameplay, because of the graphics. I thought it was an anomaly where you were able to literally transport from one end of the map
less
to
than
the
2
other
seconds.
with no load screen.
In less than 2 seconds.
No load
It's
screen.
insane. Yeah.
No loading. It was literally, you're there. I'd never seen anything like it.
Really cool.
But it makes you earn it, too. Like, you got to unlock a certain amount of crimes within the district in order to be able to fast travel there.
Oh, wow.
So it's not like they just hold your hand the whole fucking game where you could just be invincible and I'm here, I'm there, you know. The skill trees are attainable. I like that I don't have to pick what fucking abilities I want. I was able to complete every tree, you know, upgrade every gadget comfortably where I'm not like scrounging for fucking resources at the end of the game. Like, I've already beaten this shit and now I'm just looking for this resource. You know, I never really ran into that, you know. The crimes are various, you know. It's not like, all right, well, I'm doing the same fucking thing over and over and over again.
All right, can
Hold
we have
on.
a little interjection here? I think we
one
gotta have
one
some
last
back and
question
forth
for him, then you can go. Final thing for you. IGN said this is the greatest Spider-Man game of all time. What say you? Where do you put this?
It's hard to say. I mean, graphically and control-wise, of course, this is the greatest Spider-Man because it's the latest technology. You can't beat that, you know, as far as gaming experiences. Right. But for nostalgia factor, I'd say that the original Spider-Man on PS1 is still in my top 3 Spider-Man games of all time.
Okay. What are the other 2?
Probably the movie Spider-Man game
Spider-Man
was really
the movie,
fantastic.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, and then
There's a
probably
sequel
this
to that.
Spider-Man, because this Spider-Man is like the previous Spider-Man games that just came out on
better.
PlayStation, but the best version of them. You know what I mean? Took all of the great elements, eliminated some of the very annoying shit, like getting sniped out of the fucking sky when I'm just trying to do like regular missions, that kind of shit. But I would definitely put this in the top 3.
All right, Chris, you're boiling and seething over there.
Enough to get me
He's
to
mad.
the boiling
He's
point.
mad. Here comes Chris.
Sit.
Mr. I Hate Everything.
Here we go.
No, see, I'd rather
Ring the
if we
bell!
just go back and forth because then it's like steam rising. I can't. There's a few
Steam
things.
rises
So
to the top.
if we remember from the last week, I said I was not going to buy this game. I was going to wait until it goes on
rises.
discount.
Yeah.
And then
Head up.
everybody's fucking playing it. Everybody's
Folded.
talking about it. I'm in the
Folded
fucking
like
party.
laundry.
That's all anyone's talking about. And I started to get the
Boy, you.
fear of missing out.
Oh, you.
So I bought this fucking game, and I regret it. I regret it. It's a good game. It's nothing. I should say that it is a good game.
What? How much time did you put into it?
5 or 6 hours. You know, a pretty good amount. Like, I'm a little into the story. I started focusing on collecting all of his uncles, Miles' uncles, like stashes.
Oh, yeah, the Prowler stashes.
Yeah, I've been looking for the Prowler stashes.
Fun.
I've been,
Fun little puzzles.
just trying to unlock and uncover the map. You know, it's when I'm playing this game. This is, to me, it is not a radical departure or anything.
The
new.
gliding is a completely different mechanic that
The
wasn't.
gliding
in
is
the game.
nice. It's nice, but it still feels like I'm playing the same exact game with just like a little thing added to
But
it.
it's the same. It's a direct sequel. They're not going to change.
I know,
New
but
York.
that's
It's
the
still
thing.
New
It's
York
like, look at the
City.
difference. Granted, it's 10 years between, or 11 or 12 years between this, whatever the last Grand Theft Auto and the next one. But when you go from one GTA to the next, it's like, when you go from this other Spider-Man to this, it's the same exact game. It's not that much different.
But they're not putting out a GTA. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. They're putting out a game every, 2 years? How many years is it?
No,
Is every
it's-
year?
it's been
2 years, 3
5
years?
years. Since the last
2018
Spider-Man,
was
no?
yeah.
No, 5 years since Miles Morales, really?
Not Miles Morales. Miles
No,
Morales
it's-
was 2020. Spider-Man was 2018. So 2-3 year window in
Yeah,
between
yeah.
games.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is a good game and I'm having fun, but I kind of regret it because then I got Metal Gear, which we're going to talk a little bit about too. But like now I don't really care about Spider-Man. But I will say the cinematic, like the story, is good. Like the acting and the voice acting and just like the motion capture, and like it does feel like you're playing and like
The Candyman voices Venom in this game.
really
Candyman. Yeah.
interesting.
Original-
Actually,
the original
speaking of
Candyman.
voices, from the dungeon said R.I.P. Richard Bowl on Night Court, and he was the voice of Scorpion in Spider-Man cartoon,
Great theme
voice
song.
of Two-Face, and he was 80 years old. So
Oh, the
R.I.P..
voice of Two-Face?
Yeah.
Animated series.
Harvey. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot in good faith rate this game anything in the 9s anymore. To me,
No,
I
you
think
gotta
you
at
guys
least
got to
give it a
pull the
9.
fucking the web.
You got to
has
at least
been
give it a 9.
pulled.
I don't give a shit.
It's the same game. I don't know. I don't.
It's gotten
I
majority.
don't
fact
see how
that there are
Spider-Man
people in
is
the
the
fucking
game
windows-
that defines PlayStation. I just don't see it. It's not that the NPCs are still too.
Well, that's not true. It's God of War, which you refuse to play.
That's it. God of War is one of them, but everybody always
but the
says
city's
PlayStation,
bustling.
Spider-Man. That's the two associations.
But
it's
the
very
city
much.
has life in it. There are people walking all over the place. They're saying shit.
It's not like a Grand Theft Auto, though. It's not.
You got to find the two
It
guys
has
in
some
the
life, but the
costumes, they, like,
NPCs
bicker.
just don't feel alive to me.
No hookers.
There's no hookers. But the NPCs just don't feel alive. They're just like it's the same like loop, like yeah, ha ha ha, clap animation replaying six times.
I totally understand.
It's not
that.
like, and I'm not, again, I'm aiming in with a microscope right now, but these are just like when I play these games, that's how I feel. I
You
can
hate it
only
because you want to hate it. That's all.
no, I want to love
The-
it. I
the-
love New York
the
City.
NPCs and the scenery in the Spider-Man games are just garnished. They have no meat or substance to them.
It's like in wrestling games or Madden games where like they don't focus on what the crowd looks
All
like,
they are is
you
crowd.
know. But still, in the modern day, when you look at the crowd, they look like fucking polygons dancing around,
Yeah,
and
they're
like
not a lived in like open world, NPC like Grand Theft Auto and such.
yeah.
Well,
And,
that's a
well, even
really
GTA
touching
doesn't
story,
put that many
so.
NPCs on the screen at one time. If they did, then they would have to start sacrificing.
You do the story with Howard and tell me that this game doesn't have heart, though. That's all I'm saying.
It's got heart, and the story is good. I will say that the story, the actors, like when I see Norman Osborn, like I could buy that as Norman Osborn, which is a big
Yeah.
thing because I mean to follow Willem Dafoe,
He's very
As-
comic accurate.
yeah, he's a really good Norman, and I mean like all of them have been good. In the last game, Doc Ock was
Yep.
like that actor was good, and
Yep.
I don't love the Spider-Man actor.
Peter
I don't
Parker.
know.
I liked the
Yeah.
original face, even though it was a little.
I did too.
dorkier. I liked the original one better.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
felt like there's like less features to his face in this.
This
version.
guy looks
It's
like Tom Holland, like fucking.
I think that's why they did that on purpose. It's like make him look more like the No Way Home.
a generic
like they kind
Tom.
of made like Doc Ock look like like not as so much like
Lester.
the comic.
Yeah.
They like have like a in between the worlds kind of thing going
Yeah.
on there. But Harry looked great.
Harry, I thought,
Harry.
I could believe. I mean, well, Harry
I like
is.
Miles.
Hold
a
on,
lot,
hold
too.
on. Harry, so far from just the bit that I've played, is just literally Sebastian from fucking the Harry Potter game. He's
Who
like he
was it,
looks
Harry?
exactly
Oh
like
my God,
Sebastian, the Slytherin kid. He looks exactly like him, and it's like the same exact plot line as Sebastian.
My sister's the curse.
Harry. Oh no, you're not Harry. Whatever your name is in that game.
No, whatever your name.
Peter.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. Maybe I expect too much, but we were sold PlayStation 5s
I think
and
you're being too
Xbox
harsh on
whatever's.
it, and I think you need to give it more of a chance.
Get
Get deeper in the story.
I
The
bought it
story's
and I wanna like it.
fantastic. You haven't even gotten close to where the fucking symbiotes come into play, which is
It's
a
true.
lot of
It's true.
fun.
I'll keep playing. Last week I said I wasn't even going to buy the game. Now I bought it. I have been playing a little bit. I do got to get through the story a bit more. I've been trying to do some of the side stuff too. I don't
You
think
can
I'm
go
going
to
to bother.
fucking Coney
platinum.
Island, and they make you go to the festival.
Get hot
and you ride
dogs
the-
over there.
You
No
can ride
Nathan's,
the
no hot
rides and
doggies.
shit.
It's I did that in like the
Couple hot
last one.
dogs.
You know what I mean? Like all the cool things I wanted to see, I already did that in the other one, and like doing it again, it's like all right, cool.
But it drives
been
the
here.
story too. They
They have
talk
the
about
Wonder
the
Wheel,
shit.
Rob. Wonder Wheel.
Yeah, all that shit. The Ferris wheel and all that shit.
Wonder Wheel. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just again, this game is going to be a forgotten thing. I think it's just another one of those games that
He didn't
you
even
fucking-
have it
That
for a
can be
week.
said
He's
for
never going to
every
touch it
video
again.
game in the history of video
That's
games.
not true.
It's not true. There's a lot of
Not
games
true
that
at all.
get plenty of replay value, and this game has.
That's
will
the problem
be
with
dead
these
in
Sony
a month.
first-party single-player experiences. They're awesome when you're playing it, but you're done with it in a week, a month, depending on how fast you go through them, and then they're shelved for life. That's
Never
it.
playing that
Same thing
game
for
again.
God of War or any of these other single-player games.
God of War, Last of Us, they have no longevity past beating it and
Well, even
platinuming it,
Uncharted,
anything
you
like that.
know?
All of them, none of them.
But
that's
meanwhile-
what I've been griping about PlayStation and their format and their games for years since
I like
PS4.
those single-player games.
I know
enjoy
you do.
those.
Fact
You
of
do,
the matter
but
is,
economically, you have to look at it. These motherfuckers are just charged. I just paid $80 for fucking the last Star Wars game that I didn't fuck, and then it's another $80 and another $80 for a game that it's so much money. You know,
Maybe
like
it's not for you guys. You know, there's
It's
clearly
a
a market
$70
for it.
interactive movie ticket, and once the movie's over and you finish
But
it,
you
it's
own
done.
that movie. It's not like
You
I got to
own
go to the movies and then
you
stream
own it, but you'll
and-
never touch
Never
it
touch
again.
it again.
In a month from now, you will never play that game again.
It's all those other games, though. I have. Look
That's
at
my
the
point.
fucking racks of video games that I have.
Yeah,
all
but there's
over the
games
years.
that I keep coming back for. Like, I've not stopped playing Street Fighter because it's competitive. I'm still playing Destiny 2,
Play Metal
regardless
Gear,
of what you think.
Skyrim.
But even things like
Starfield.
Street Fighter.
Yes.
I mean, not that I'm a Street Fighter guy, but even Mortal Kombat, which I am a fan of.
Right,
How
but
often
you don't.
do I go back and play the
But you
original
don't
Mortal
play
Kombat?
ranked.
It doesn't matter.
If you played ranked Mortal Kombat and were competitive with it, you would still be playing it.
I'm not ranked with anything.
I'm
That's
playing
what I'm fucking
Starfield still,
saying,
Ben.
God damn it!
I don't like playing PvP.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not made for you. It's made for people like me that are into that shit.
Okay,
Hey,
but
I'm
there's,
not saying there's not an
but
audience for
there's
it.
no option to have these in these PlayStation exclusive games. Like, what if Spider-Man had multiplayer? Like Grand Theft
Yeah,
Auto
but they
has
have
multiplayer.
every other multiplayer game that's not
Like
exclusive
what?
to the system.
No, they don't have any first-party multiplayer games. Zero, none.
Does it matter if Xbox
Yes.
does?
No, I'm talking about PlayStation. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm saying, get a fucking Xbox.
I have an Xbox.
So then don't complain.
PlayStation is sorely lacking in multiplayer fucking games that are from first-party Sony studios, not fucking Call of
That's
Duty
not
or
the
whatever.
market they're trying to reach out to, though.
That's not good.
Why? Because it's yours?
It is my
Yes.
market.
That's all we have is our own opinions.
It's the
That's all we
it's the
have.
majority of the
Yeah.
market right now. That's what video gaming has become in 2023. Is this open world yet, battle royale esque competitive multiplayer scene, and these games that are made by PlayStation first party developers don't have that.
Well, we'll see because they are going to have The Last of Us online eventually.
How long will it take?
I don't know. I mean,
It's years.
it's coming. Those games were good. The first one.
Yeah, great games and great
Couple
show,
of things in the
everything.
comments here. So, what did From the Dungeon say? He said that I just want to play Starfield, which is true. I do want to go back to because Starfield is a better game than fucking Spider-Man. Spider-Man does not deserve Game of the Year. It does not deserve it. All right, it does not.
gonna
It
get
does
no-
not.
does
You're
it-
lying to yourself. You are not going to play it after next month. You're never, ever, ever going to fucking touch that game again. If we still were
If you're
buying,
ranting, put the
hold
camera on you.
If we were still buying physical copies, that game would be relegated to a fucking Madden 2013 fucking bin in another fucking 2 or 3 years. So don't tell you motherfuckers grandstand so much and make me feel like a piece of shit when I fucking abstain from buying a game and then I buy it and the same fucking thing happens. Everybody drops it. It's not that fucking good. It's not. I'm sorry.
That's why I
Pull the
don't buy
fucking
games
cowl.
based on what everybody else
Pull
is
the
playing.
webs off of your eyes. It's literally it's a jerk off rag video game. It's another one of those fucking games that does not withstand the test of time. Even Halo 5, for all of its faults, we might go back and play Halo 5. Actually, I heard this latest
Forge is really good on it.
apparently the latest
You would
thing
like
is
the
like a
Forge.
revival to it.
Yeah.
So but you'll go back and play Halo in another year even, but you will never, ever, ever, ever go back to playing Spider-Man after, except to spite me, you will never
gonna
go back
spite
to
you,
play.
Chris.
To spite me, you will, so good.
I'm gonna play the
You'll
first
get more
Spider-Man
value
over
out of the
again.
game
Here's
then.
the thing
Good.
about Halo 2, and real quick, I still have yet to delete that off my hard drive because I would always go back and play a match or two. Something like God of War or Spider-Man, Last of Us, even like Resident Evil 4 or, Jedi Survivor. I've deleted those games off my hard drive. Once I'm done with them, that's it. That today's dead.
Yeah, that's what it always is. It's, okay, well, you need room to download a new game.
different kind of
Do you want to
game, though.
delete Grand Theft Auto
No.
or this? Or do you want to delete Spider-Man? And it's always, I don't want to delete Spider-Man yet because I didn't beat it. And then eventually the day comes where I just got to fucking delete Spider-Man.
So
And that's
get
what's gonna
get more
happen.
System storage.
I did. I fucking got external. It's still gonna fucking happen because I'm not gonna beat this game. I'm just gonna drop it. I
think you have a problem.
Game.
It doesn't grip me
But
enough.
I think you have a
No,
problem.
you know what your problem is? You bought fucking Metal Gear 2. And we
I did
talked
buy
about
Metal
this
Gear.
before.
We're not there yet.
That
We're
is-
not there yet.
No, but
I
what I'm
can't wait
saying,
to
I'm
talk
not talking
about
about Metal Gear, but the fact that if you buy one game and then you buy another game right after you bought the first game dies. And you'll never want to play it again.
Not for me. It's not the first game. It's whatever game isn't as good.
Chris, I think you need to stop giving in to your anger and your peers and buying games that you don't really want to play or finish.
I agree.
You have a problem.
Well, I wouldn't say I think that
You're wasting
I was
money.
staying the
You're
course.
just pissing money away.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And
I buy the games I want to play, and I just play them by myself if nobody else is
So
playing.
what if 50 of your friends are playing Spider-Man? You didn't want to
well,
play.
you
Why
know
did
what?
do
If
it?
I just waited another week or two, nobody's going to be
I
talking
could give
about
a
it
shit
anymore
if
'cause they're
nobody
gonna
else
drop it.
bought Spider-Man. I was still going to buy Spider-Man.
Well,
play
no,
that
it was
shit
like
by
it actually
myself.
made me feel like, oh, maybe it is cool. Maybe I am.
Gave
Maybe
in.
you know.
I had a lot of fun
maybe,
with it.
You gave
Clearly,
in.
I had fun. I beat the whole.
You
fucking
wanted
thing.
to be in the cool kids club.
No,
did
I
everything
just
there
you
is
know
to
what?
do in that
I
game.
was willing to admit, and I am always willing to admit, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm making a mistake
Am I wrong?
by not listening to my gut. Maybe I'm making a mistake. I'm wrong. Let me buy the game.
You're not wrong, Walter.
and
You're
then
just an asshole.
fucking. And it is true. It is my own doing. But you know what?
I'm
You only
staying.
got so much time.
I'm finishing my coffee.
You only got so much time, and I'd rather play Metal Gear, even though I fucking beat that game on fucking 5 different platforms at this point, and I know the story in and out. I'd
I
rather
will
play
never
that
play
same
GTA
game.
5 story mode ever again.
No, I won't either.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same fucking
But
thing.
I'll replay all the other things that you could do in GTA on GTA Online.
It's a different animal, though.
So let's actually go
different animal,
there.
'cause
Let's,
they
let's segue into Metal Gear because those games are timeless
Yes.
and they are
Timeless.
replayable regardless of how many times you beat them, on how many different platforms you beat them. Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 Snake Eater are timeless classic games that I can always jump back into and finish. So give me your initial thoughts on the Metal Gear Solid collection. That just got released on all the major platforms, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and even for the Nintendo Switch.
Which
God.
I think is
Probably
the
looks
most
like shit on
remarkable
the
thing.
Switch.
It probably does look like shit on the Switch because the Switch is a shitty system.
Oh, God.
I'm fucking that's it. I'm
we
pissed
go.
off today.
That's it. Here we go.
All right.
Ring the bell.
Didn't get my value out of the Switch either. Still
Yeah,
haven't-
but you didn't play Zelda. You
Still
bought
haven't
the
played
Zelda,
Zelda.
game. You didn't
I
play
bought
it.
Zelda. You motherfuckers made me feel bad. You strung me up on the cross.
And then you
I
you
turned
hung
my
yourself,
pockets out.
and then you hung yourself on it because you fucking
Oh,
didn't
my
play it.
God.
Because what am I gonna? I did that, or I get to play
I'm
something
telling
else.
you, bought other games and the game died. I'm telling you, it's what happens. You got to buy one game at a time.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. It's
gotta.
like cutting off one of the fucking fruits so the other
That's
one's
why
go
I
bigger.
was like, I'm gonna platinum Spider-Man and then I'm gonna buy Mario because it's gonna be one or the other. I'm not gonna want to do both at the same time.
Cut your
So
nose and
now,
spite your face.
I beat the Spider-Man game. I bought Mario. I'm 4 worlds in. I'm having fun with it. We can talk that.
He's
about
not
that
like
later.
you, Rob.
I will get
He's
Mario
not like you.
eventually.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely getting that.
Mario's been fun.
No, I said I was gonna wait on Spider-Man. I should have, and I
Didn't
didn't. And fucking there we go.
Got
So
it before I did.
I should have waited until it went on discount in fucking 4 months.
Never.
Despite what you believe,
Not happening.
it'll be in a fucking bin. It'll be in the bottom of a fucking bin.
Never. You're
At
gonna
GameStop.
You're gonna owe me when you fucking.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't when the PS5 fucking Pro comes out, and then this game is absolute, and they fucking release it again,
Not.
and you pay another fucking $80. Anyway, Metal Gear.
Gear.
The re-release. It's been it's exactly what you would want if you like Metal Gear. We love us some Metal Gear. I mean, your name, Joe,
Gamer
Metal Gear
tag on
Flex.
Xbox for over 20 years.
Yeah, it's based on Metal Gear. The font up in the top left corner of our show here, the date, that's Metal Gear font. We love us some Metal Gear here.
We do.
It's a great story. If you like history and shit too, they have like a very, they blend, truth and actual things that happened in history.
Tactical
They do.
espionage action.
Action. Yeah. I mean, like I was playing it with Gina yet the other day, and I was just explaining to her like so many things are lost on like if you're a young kid playing Metal Gear, like you don't realize this is the first game where like one of the first games where like I would say you could even crouch, but that you can go prone
Yes.
and then crawl prone, and that you can like go against the wall and
Yes.
hide and knock
Yes.
and you
You
know
go in a locker, you can go into a box. It's the
Yeah.
first game that I can remember where the actual enemies were smart.
yes.
And they actually reacted to what you did. They weren't just lifeless,
right.
killing fodder that you can just kill. Like they were
Which they
smart.
still kind of are, but
They are, but they're smart
you can
in a
fuck
sense
with them
that
a little bit.
they have really good hearing. You can trick them. You can
They have that cone of sight.
Yes,
you know?
they do.
It's also one of the first games to have like surveillance cameras.
It's a true stealth game.
True stealth game. I mean, and even like one of the only games still really that you could hold somebody up.
Yeah.
Freeze.
Freeze.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me. You aim at their head or you aim at their balls, and they get scared and they shake, and then you can collect their
Could be
name
their
tags.
pants.
You can collect the name tag of every soldier in the game. It gives you something to like want to collect.
Could go through the whole game without even killing anybody. You could just dart them all or knock them out,
Tranquilizer rounds.
choke them.
Or, when you're holding them up, sometimes you're holding them up and the guy's a tough guy and he's like, "Are you going to shoot me?" And then you fucking shoot him in the leg, and then he's, "Oh, don't kill me." And he starts fucking shaking, and you get his name tag. You could shoot in Snake Eater. You could shoot their walkie-talkies.
What's the point of the name tags?
It's just like one of those cool things at the end of the game, like, you collected all the name tags.
At the end of Metal Gear, depending on the time that you beat it, how many enemies that you killed,
How much ammo,
how much ammo you've shot, it gives you a rating and a ranking, and it puts you in like a bracket of ranking. So.
Oh, Phil Dunphy just made a great statement there. He said, Hideo Kojima is the Quentin Tarantino of video games.
1,000%.
It's a very... I
1,000
never heard
more?
that, and I agree. 1,000 more?
1,000 more? 100%. I totally agree with that. And it's a shame that we will likely never get another Hideo Kojima Metal Gear Solid game again.
Yeah. I mean, Well, so I want to talk about what's included with this thing.
Yeah.
You have the original... And I actually went and I started with the original arcade game just to, so you could really see how the game progressed, over decades.
Sure.
And it's crazy because the very first game, it's, 2D top-down scroller, but it's like the same exact thing as Snake Eater. It's still like you're in a jungle and you're navigating, and then there's a chain link fence, and there's Dobermans on the other side barking at you, and then there's like trucks that you can go and hop in the back of them, and enemies are in there sometimes. It's still the same game, even after all these years, and it became three-dimensional and polygonal.
About when that game came out in the mid-'80s on Nintendo Entertainment System, how ahead of the curve it was that you can jump in a back of a truck and kind of... no other games on the Nintendo platform did stuff like that.
Right.
It was so ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And that kept that way for every single version of the game to follow on PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, 4. So go ahead and finish what you're saying.
It's just cool to see how it progresses. I mean, even the original NES or I don't know, NES or SNES, it had like same thing, cameras, that you would have to try to evade. It's just such a cool fucking game, and the story is just the narrative, and like especially if you like historical things.
Maybe when I beat Mario,
Top 5.
Dude, I'm telling, and it's like Japanese. Like you love that shit. There's definitely like an anime, almost like aspect to it. Like that over the top, like just storytelling. But how it links up with history, like Metal Gear Snake Eater is like all about the Cold War and Russia.
Cold War.
And it's Glukovich, the Russians.
Why would the Russians be involved?
And the voice actor for Snake is great, David Hayter. He's classic voice, one of the greatest voices. Like he makes him a badass guy. You want to be Solid Snake because he's fucking cool. Now for Rob, I mean, you know a little bit about the story. We were talking about it earlier.
There's apparently this guy Big Boss or something, and they're all clones of Big Boss.
You kind of find this out over the games, but essentially,
and there's Solid Snake and there's Liquid Snake, and
let me clarify. So you have Big Boss, just like you said.
Now is that the guy from Metal Gear, the game? Like
it's a little the original Metal Gear. You're playing as Solid Snake, and like Big Boss, I think is actually your commander telling you what to do. And I guess at the end he becomes the villain because in Metal Gear 2 arcade game, Big Boss is the villain. And you find out over the games pretty much that they cloned Big Boss and they made Solid Snake and they made Liquid Snake. So Solid brown hair, Liquid has blonde hair. And Liquid has brother. He's got like a British voice for whatever reason. Brother, I thought I'd find you here. You got some other rogue character, Ocelot, who's like a fucking Russian cowboy
Revolver
character.
Ocelot.
He's got revolvers. He's like fucking Yosemite Sam.
Psycho Mantis.
Then you have like the villains. Every game usually has like a set of villains.
Psycho Mantis is the one that made you change the input on the television.
Yeah,
and she read your memory card.
They always fuck with your head. Like even in Snake Eater, they have like the fear, the pain, the sorrow, and like it's like 5 or 6 different emotions, and each one of them is unique in their own way.
Till this day, I'll say this on record, and there's hands down, there's no qualms about this. The best bosses in a video game series of all time.
Oh yeah, the bosses are. It's like they set up the villains so well.
It's like a rogue gallery for Solid Snake, Rob. You're gonna appreciate that.
And I mean, to the Tarantino comparison, like it's very much almost like Kill Bill, where like sometimes you're sitting in like you sit and you talk to your fucking worst enemy at like a dinner table and like just explain the plot line and the motives and the reasoning of everything, and then like you kill them at the end. Like they it's very indulgent. Like the cutscenes go on and on and on. That's one thing about the Metal Gear games that I love and you also hate is like you might have to piss or like you're starting to fall asleep.
Can you pause it during the cutscene?
You might be able to now, but back in the day, no, you would skip it and you'd miss like all this important information. I have to go back and rewatch it all.
Pivotal in that game.
The fucking cutscenes can go for like 45. And the PS3 game, the cutscenes were going for like 2 hours. They were literally.
Jesus.
It's like a full cinematic movie, but you like
that's
that
bullshit
shit.
if you can't like pause.
Metal Gear
I think
Solid
you can
4
now.
was the worst of all of them. That was basically
That was the
a
PlayStation
movie.
3 one. Yeah, it was a movie.
The
It was very
PlayStation
much.
3, yeah.
But that's also, I like that too, where you get an immersive, cool story.
Yes.
But yeah, if you got to piss, it's rough.
It's a Tarantino flick.
Back to the main plot of it though, right? So, you have Big Boss was cloned. You have Solid and Liquid Snake. You eventually find out in Metal Gear Solid 2 that there's another clone named Solidus, who is an exact replica of Big Boss. And essentially they all have their own motives. Liquid ends up, you defeat Liquid, I think, in 1, and then his arm, Ocelot gets his arm cut off, and then they put Liquid's arm on Ocelot. Yes. And in Metal Gear Solid 2, while Ocelot's hijacking a Metal Gear, by the way, is just a giant nuclear, it's like a tank, pretty much, but it's like a bipedal, fucking walking, flying, swimming mech that can shoot nuclear bombs, pretty much.
Supposed to be like the most dangerous weapon known to man.
Yeah. So pretty much Liquid's arm is transplanted onto this guy, Ocelot.
Does his
Liquid
arm do something special?
He starts taking over Ocelot's mind. Ocelot goes from talking like this to all of a sudden he's just like, brother! In his fucking arm, he whips the arm back out. So Liquid's always a bit in there. It's just fucking cool. There's always like these, usually it's like some kind of fucking Cold War, like something going on between two sides, and then somehow Snake has to come in and fix this like fucking
Where's Snake
international.
supposed to be from?
Well, he's from a test tube. He's a fucking clone of his old man.
Who was his old man? Was he American?
Big Boss. Big Boss. So Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, is actually a prequel game that takes place in the 60s, and you play as Big Boss. And he looks exactly like Solid Snake, so it feels like you're playing the same guy. But you're actually playing as the original Big Boss. You get his whole backstory. You find out how he gets the name Big Boss. He was originally Naked Snake, and then he has to take out his boss, pretty much, who is voiced by the lady who plays the female newscaster in Family Guy.
Oh, okay.
Diane, is that her name?
I
They
met
killed
her.
her off. Yeah, she actually voices.
I have her autograph.
She voices Boss, so she's the main villain, pretty much. She's originally his protege, but she turns on him and fires off a nuke in Russia, and Snake pretty much has to fix this situation and take out all these people to fucking prevent a nuclear apocalypse. It's a great story. There's elements of like Chinese and Russian spies, and it's very much like inspired by Bond to a degree, but it's its own thing. I mean, Metal Gear is just so fucking cool, and like when you hear like stuff like about the actual Cold War and like these international things, and it's broken
and this
down.
is giving you up to Metal Gear 3.
Yes, it's Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. So PlayStation 1 game, PlayStation, and then 2 and 3
Does
were
it play like a
2.
PlayStation 1 game, or have they kind of fixed
They
it?
remastered the game, so I have this here. They remastered the games a couple of years ago for the 360. They made an HD collection, and this is the last time that they released.
That's
the
actually
Metal
pretty
Gear.
expensive on eBay.
This is pretty expensive. This is one of my nice little collector things. It came with like a whole book with all the art and shit in it. You know, it's fucking dope. This is a digital game, so you know, it comes with pretty much this whole collection, which was remastered on the 360. They did not. I think they up-resed it slightly. They didn't fuck with it too much though. It's pretty much a port. But they are currently remastering and rebuilding from the ground up, making Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Looks amazing.
They're calling it Metal Gear Solid Delta, I think.
It's fucking incredible.
And you said they're doing that because it's a prequel game?
Well, Snake Eater is probably the most fondly remembered and loved game of the series, so they're probably starting with Snake Eater, and I hope one day they remake Metal Gear
Are they
Solid
very
2.
long games?
Yes.
Well, they're PS2 long. You know, like they're long games.
They're like 12 to 15 hours, depending on how fast
Even
you
more,
go.
honestly. And you could take your time with
Take
it.
your time.
I
You speed
hold
through
up
it.
everybody. I like to shoot them in one foot, and then I shoot them in the other foot, and then I shoot each limb, and then I
You
kill
can
'em.
totally speed run them and beat them in 2 hours or whatever and things like that. But
Yeah.
you can take your time and go through it. Chris, talk about the additions that we saw from Metal Gear Solid 2 to Metal Gear Solid 3. What did Snake Eater bring to the table that was unique to not only the Metal Gear series but video games in general?
Good question. So Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 were very similar. I don't know how many years were between them. It wasn't that many. I actually started with Metal Gear Solid 2. I loved it. I saw Metal Gear Solid 1 a little bit, but it's not a huge jump between the two of them. They were both on the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
Metal Gear Solid 2 was earlier on in the PS2 life cycle.
It's one of the
whereas-
launch titles. It's like a 2001 title.
Yeah, whereas Metal Gear Snake Eater was kind of near the end of
2005.
the PlayStation 2 life cycle.
Yep.
Not all the way, but
It really maximized the capabilities of the PlayStation 2. Like, it could not do
Yeah.
more than what Metal Gear Solid 3 did on the PlayStation 2.
when that game came out, it was like there was no other game that captured nature like that, because it's not just, you know, the trees and the plants and the shit. It's there was a variety of biomes, which wasn't common at that time. So there's like a mountainous, rocky area, there's swampy area, there's fucking, you know, and the thing is about Snake Eater. So what makes a difference? They introduced camouflage. You would actually have to, like a snake, you know, if you were in like a green kind of swampy land, you would have to go into the menu and put on your green swampy camouflage. And then you also had face paint. And you had like a bar that would tell you, like, you know, you're 95% blending in right now. And then if you're like prone laying on the ground in the grass, they won't see you. You know, if it was dark out, you could wear all black and they wouldn't be able to see you. Or if you're in the water, there's a water one, and, you know, and
That's
so
right.
on. So there's all these different camos. The other thing that was different is you had to eat to survive. And it was cool because there's so many different animals in this game. I mean, there's like bunny rabbits. There's fucking like 15, 20
Like
different
Oregon
types of
Trail,
snakes.
You gotta go hunting.
So you do. Well, I mean, there's an abundance of animals, but I mean, they got snakes. They have like tarantulas. They got fucking poisonous bugs. They got,
Now I know why they call it Snake Eater.
well, that's exactly it. And they have a whole little, in the beginning of the game, when you eat your first snake, they call it Operation Snake Eater. He's like, Snake Eater. And they're like, I hope you like the taste of snake. You might be eating some. You know, and when he eats the different animals or the different food that he finds, he always has a different reaction. So some things he actually is like, ugh, disgusting, or like fucking, you know. And then there's other things where he's like, tasty, you know, or ooh, really good. Like he gets excited. You could eat so much that you like vomit. You could poison yourself if you eat like a poisonous mushroom or a poisonous fucking creature. Alternatively, you can capture things alive with a tranquilizer. Like, so I would just ways that I would
And
push
cook
this
it.
game. You can actually, I don't know. Could you cook?
You can cook.
You would I would tranquilize like a poisonous spider, and
Yep.
you could fucking throw it at the enemy,
Yep.
and it'll poison them and
Yep.
kill them.
Yep.
Snake Eater, what also made it different was not only could you hold up people, but you can like wrap your arm around their throat and put a knife to their throat. Whoa, toggled a weird scene there. Sorry about that. You could put a knife to their throat and you'd be like, speak. And they will either, you know, tell you some random bullshit, but they'll like give you information of, you know, how to survive.
He's basically John Rambo in this game.
Oh, very much. It's
no
inspired.
friendly civilians.
It's actually inspired by Rambo
It
slightly,
is.
because when he starts shooting his gun, like an automatic
Yes.
gun, he'll go, ah! He starts screaming. But yeah, so many different types of food, animals.
They do first blood, not me.
When what I was saying, when you hold them up and you say speak, like they'll tell you
Can't find your
speak.
legs.
They'll tell you radio frequencies to like call the guards off.
Yep.
Or like if you wanted to like alert the guards or something like that, you can call this certain frequency. One of the biggest things also about Metal Gear, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, is the codec. And that's from the very first Super Nintendo game. Was you walk into a scene and and they would come up the little walkie-talkie scene.
Otacon, this is Snake.
It was like it was
Yeah, I know
originally
about that. I played the original Metal Gear.
Yeah, but that continues even
I
into
might
the
have it
newer
over
games.
there. I meant to pull it out, but I forgot.
Those dialogues even happen in the newer games.
So many great Easter eggs in those codec messages. Too.
Yes, you could hit R2 and like you'll hear what their internal like thoughts are. They'll be like, "That's stupid," or "That's impossible," and shit like that. Lot of Easter eggs in those games too. And so many small little details, like when you had the camera in Metal Gear Solid 2 and you like took a picture of like a naked lady, Snake will make a little kiss sound with his mouth.
Oh my
They have so many little Easter eggs and just ways that like you said, intelligent to a degree AI. Like yes, it's programmed and it's algorithmic
For its time,
in its own
there
way.
was no games that did that like that. None.
Not at all. Where like you have the cone of vision.
Yep.
The cones of silence.
From the dungeon said that Sweet likes games where you can kill people, and absolutely, absolutely. Because
That's why Chris doesn't like Spider-Man, because Spider-Man doesn't kill.
Just beats the shit out of it.
no, you know what, man, I wanted to make this point when you were talking about Spider-Man. The point that really fucking just stuck a fucking thorn in me. You said that the crimes are like unique. No, it's the same exact in Spider-Man. The same exact crimes that fucking committed in every other game. Somebody stole a car, throw this guy out throw this guy, kick him out.
No, but I will say this.
Same
the car
fucking
one is a
shit.
lot less annoying than it used to be, about having to stop the car at the end and tapping the shit. And the car thefts don't happen as frequently. Car thefts was my least favorite part of the fucking previous game.
Siri, go
Like,
the fuck away.
Whenever I used to see
Siri, stop. Sorry.
Whenever I used to see the car thefts, I used to skip them.
Yeah.
I used to skip them.
I'm tired of these fucking burning tanker missions. I fucking solved like
They're
10
easy.
burning tankers. Yeah, they're easy, but again, that I disagree.
Copy
The
and
crimes
paste.
are anyway. Back to Metal Gear. Fuck Spider-Man.
They exist for the tech parts.
I
so
hope
we can
fucking the
unlock.
re-release of Metal Gear gets a fucking Game of the Year over Spider-Man.
No, it's not.
What else am I missing though? I mean, as far as what
Well-
made Metal Gear Snake Eater, how it evolved.
So I want to kind of double back to Metal Gear Solid, and I originally bought this on the PlayStation 1. It was a very hyped game. I used to read a lot of video game magazines, Game Informer, EGM, back in the day, and this was coveted. This was like the introduction to allow Kojima to have a platform where he can actually express his artistic freedom. And the nice thing about the PlayStation 1 is the audio was really good, so you were able to kind of really get sound the way you wanted it to. The voice acting in a PlayStation 1 game, Resident Evil, all those games really resonated well, and no game to me, even maybe till this date, had better voice acting than the original Metal Gear Solid. So it was a double disc when it came out. It was 2 discs.
Remember that?
I still have it.
Wait. Just to explain for any younger people that might be watching, you used to fucking get 2 discs for games that were super.
Didn't even
long.
know what discs are.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Compact discs with these round things you suck in your legs.
But yeah, it would tell you like, okay, time to change the disc.
Yeah. So I mean,
Crazy.
a couple games had that. Resident Evil 2 had that. Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 7 and 10 had that.
I mean, that goes back to the Apple IIc. I mean, it would tell you to flip to side B and shit with the floppy disks.
Crazy. Took me
I
back
had
to
the
that.
black.
Sorry, I didn't mean
the
to.
Black
interrupt.
Cauldron
It
had
just-
like fucking 5 or 6 discs.
I forgot about that. That was a
Some of the elements in the actual boss battles were just mind-blowing and completely ahead of the curve. So the first time you actually fight Psycho Mantis, like you said earlier, your controller doesn't work, and you don't realize later into the fight that she disables port 1, player 1, and you have to move your controller into player 2 so you can actually move and complete the fight. And then she starts fucking with your mind, and she goes, "Oh, I can read your mind." And she starts looking through your memory card, and she tells you, "Oh, I see you like Castlevania." So she's reading similar games that were made by Konami that are on your memory card. Memory card is how you saved your game data on the original PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. So that
8
was
megabytes.
that blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
In 97, 98.
It would
was
fuck with your head.
unbelievable.
Even in Metal Gear Solid 2, near the end, like where you find out that like I don't want to spoil it, but everything is like AI and like the AI starts breaking, and they call you up and they're like, "It's time to turn off the game. You've been playing too long."
Matrix.
And you're like, "What's going on? Like, have I been playing too long? I have been playing for a
Metal
while."
Gear Solid still to this day, and I've played all of them. It's my favorite.
Holds up.
It holds up. My only thing about this version is I really wish they would remake Twin Snakes, because Twin Snakes was a remaster and remake of Metal Gear Solid, and it was exclusive to Nintendo GameCube.
Yes, I remember.
It was it was basically in the vein of a higher resolution Snake Eater engine, but Metal Gear Solid 1. It was fucking fantastic.
Now think about this. I don't know if you've pondered this yet, but as you told the story about Psycho Mantis, which by the way, I didn't realize it was a chick. I thought it was a dude, but like a really skinny, weird dude. But what do you do now on a PlayStation 5? Because you don't have wired controller slots.
There's other
so
things
how do
can
you
do. You have
hit the PlayStation button and go to the
haptic
profile
feedback.
too?
You have different, you can start hearing the speaker. The speaker can kind of emanate like voices and
That's what I'm saying. I'm curious what they do though in this.
It
They
might
won't.
disconnect your controller.
You're
to your
talking about
fridge.
Snake Eater? What they're going to
No,
do?
I'm saying in Metal Gear Solid 1 when you fight Psycho Mantis on
Oh,
the PS5.
oh, there is.
you can't switch your
there
controller,
is things
so
that
what
they
do you
changed
do?
it to.
Yeah.
I read that
You have
online.
to.
I won't tell you, but they did.
I'm
they
guessing
did.
you have to hit the PlayStation button and go to profile too.
Oh,
or
they did.
something.
They
Yeah.
did. They did.
It has to
innovate that.
And that must have been
disconnect your controller.
pretty hard, like pretty annoying to do for them.
One of the cool things about the collection too, and I was looking at it on the Xbox store today, is you can buy the complete collection. It was $59, or you can buy each individual game for $19. So if
I bought the whole collection.
if you're strapped for cash, you just want to start with Metal Gear Solid 1, $19, play it up.
And if you want, you could play it in Japanese, but unfortunately, the captions are also in Japanese. So you know,
I don't know. The
that's
American
what I know
voice
Rob likes.
actors are
They're really
you
good.
can't. There's a lot of games that I switched to Japanese, like Street Fighter. I like the Japanese voices better.
Yeah.
But Metal Gear Solid, you got to listen to David Hayter. There's
So
no.
Ghost
good.
of Tsushima was great in Japanese as well.
The voice of Snake is just so good. It's just such a cool character. Like you want to be Snake, you know. The different guns too. You know, we didn't even mention that. The
Oh, my
variety of
God.
weapons that you can get. The fact that you got a tranquilizer gun. I mean,
Tons of
still, what game allows you to get a tranquilizer gun? Fucking knock somebody out and then like fucking throw them in a swamp to get eaten by an alligator, or fucking throw them into a locker to hide them, or throw them overboard on a
You
ship.
can get the Panzerfaust.
The what?
The Panzerfaust
What was
rocket.
that? Oh yeah, the rocks. That's near the end. I mean, it's just such a cool fucking game. This collection includes, like we said, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. It's got Metal Gear 1 and 2. It's also got this other Metal Gear game that I never heard of that came out in like 88 or 89. It was really fucking weird. I was playing it.
What's the name of it?
I don't remember. It was like Snake's Paradise or some shit. And it's like literally like Vietnam and like a flare. It's totally dark. You can't see anything. And then like a flare will go up, blow up, illuminate the fucking battlefield
This
for
is
a
not
second.
Nom Downey. There are rules.
It was a weird game. So it includes that. It also includes like a digital version of all the shit that's in this booklet here that I was showing before in the collection. So there's like 4 different animes.
I'll probably scoop it. I just got to.
It's right up your alley.
I
Rob.
got to beat Mario first, which
Right up your
I do
alley.
want to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, you've been
the
playing
new
it.
Mario game's really fun. There's some new power ups. Graphically, you know, it's what you would expect
Mario.
from a modern, you know,
Nintendo Switch game
Nintendo Switch game.
comparable to Zelda.
It's I mean, it looks great though. Honestly, you know, there's new animations now where like when he goes through a pipe, like kind of his hat gets left behind and he pulls it in. I will say that this is the very first Mario title without Charles Martinet as the voice of Mario. So it is
So his
officially
voice,
the new
what
voice.
is it? Is it reminiscent of that, or is it? Not?
I mean, honestly, it's so unnoticeable because he doesn't really speak in the game.
No.
It's very much one of these, you know, platformers where, you know, you
It's a
follow
true
the path.
successor, though, to Super Mario World on the SNES.
Correct. And what's really fun about this one, though, that I mean, I'm sure it's been in other ones, but it didn't seem as easy to hook up as you can actually play with other people on their system.
We got to do that.
And there's plenty of characters. They've got Mario and Luigi. They've got a bunch of different Yoshis. They have Princess Peach. Daisy is in it as well. Toad. And you can have, parties of a bunch of people doing the levels. Nothing's like really impossible. I did die a bunch of times in a few spots, but it's Mario. It comes down to trial and error until you can beat it. They give you plenty of lives and shit. I'm like 4 worlds into the game now, and I'm happy with it. And that's the other game that came out on my birthday. I got like a double whammy for my birthday. Spider-Man and Mario both dropped on the 20th.
Yeah. Let's actually do this. Let's actually go around before you jump in. Let's go around and let's give the comments in our live crowd. And in the comment section, we'd like you to also chime in what you guys feel. Give me your top 3 Super Mario Brother games of all time in order.
Who's going to start that? Me? Fuck. That's tough.
You want me to start?
I know them. I just don't know the order, because they're all for different reasons.
Well, say them, and then you'll be able to get the order down.
If you can't,
I mean, if I'm gonna just go chronologically from as far back as I can remember to more recent.
Far back as I can remember.
Which,
I always wanted to
far
be
back
a
as I
gangster.
can remember. I always wanted to be a gang. You have to get that Ray Liotta fucking.
As far back as
smoke
I can
6 packs
remember,
of
I always
cigarettes a
wanted to
day.
be a plumber.
I'm gonna say, was it Super Mario the second one on SNES, the one where you could like ride Yoshi?
Super Mario World.
You pretty much could like go to Yoshi's like house, and there was the tree with all the
Super
fucking
Mario
fruit.
World.
Yeah, Super Mario World, man. Just the sound of when Yoshi would eat the apple. I don't know why. Just as a kid, it was always. Oink. I can't even do it. Blow, blow. Yeah, but fucking, it was just such a cool game, and I just remember like playing that in my basement with my sister. It's just one of those cool like core earliest memories. The tiles. I remember the tiles in the basement, dingy ass fucking 90s basement. Playing that game with my sister. So I'd say that's first. Second is going to be Super Mario 64, which really is kind of pretty much first because, I played that more than any of them. But come on. One of the greatest games of all time. One of the first 3D games.
Yeah.
The music was great.
I'm
all
playing
the maps
it now.
are great.
I'm actually playing through it now because I have the Nintendo 64 collection on Switch. As I play for the subscription.
Yeah.
And it's got 64 Mario in all its glory. And I just did the snow level, so I have all the stars on the snow level.
Nice.
And I got
You throw the penguin off the side?
Yeah,
You know you
all the
did.
time.
Every time. You can't miss the baby penguin. Fucking mom comes chasing after you.
That's not my son. Where's my son?
Yeah. You got the fucking decoy baby.
Decoy baby, yeah.
Yeah, come on. Super Mario 64, just fucking fantastic. I just remember like it was like 96 or something that came out.
Yes. It was released with the launch of the Nintendo 64.
And I remember my good friend at the time was a girl that lived across the street, Marissa, and we would play it at her house all the time. And I remember my mom telling me when she got me the Nintendo 64, it was right before Easter. I remember she was like, and guess what else I got you?
Ooh.
A Nintendo 64. And I was like, whoa, my God. And fucking Super Mario.
4 years later.
That was the game. Everybody that had a 64 was playing that fucking game. It was so fucking good. Fighting Bowser, just everything. So fucking cool. So, if I were to rate number 3, that's tough. It would be one of the older ones, maybe the original Super Mario, the starter. I did also really like. You know what? Fuck, I'm down. Paper Mario. Paper Mario is a
Which is
fantastic
getting remade
fucking game.
on the
Yeah,
Switch.
is it?
Yes, it is.
The original one is being remade.
Yes, it is.
So I picked up Super Mario 3D All Stars, which you can't get anymore. I remember Vin was telling me this. I didn't even know this.
Mario RPG is getting remade.
Paper Mario is also getting remade.
Is it?
Yeah, just not this year.
Maybe they'll be all a bundle together, possibly.
Yeah, Super Mario All-Stars, I regret not having it to Switch at the time, and now that fucking game is really expensive to get.
Really? I have it.
I don't even know what Super Mario All Stars. I'm trying to remember.
It had Sunshine, it had Galaxy, and it had Mario 64.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah. That's
the
the collection.
original Super
right.
Mario All Stars was on the Super Nintendo, and it had Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, and The Lost Levels, which was the Japanese release of Super Mario Brothers 2.
So your list is Mario World, Mario 64, and the original Super Mario Brothers, Nintendo?
Uh,
Final answer? Would you like to change your answers?
Well, no, Paper Mario.
Oh, Paper Mario's number
And
3.
I'm also I have
Honorable mention.
I cannot. It's not technically one of the Mario games. That's why, but it would be in the top 3. Mario Party. I mean, come on. I learned everything that I know about corruption, scheming, backstabbing through Mario Party. When you fucking go through chance time, you find out who your real fucking friends are.
God.
Fucking it leaves everything up to chance. But Mario Party is one of the best. You know, you could play with all your friends and you compete and you could team up against them and all the different variety of mini games. And on the N64, you used to fucking it had that analog stick and they would have the games where you had to fucking rotate. And you would tear your fucking flesh.
You would destroy those controllers.
You would destroy the controller, and you would destroy your hand, but you fucking won.
I had that controller in every color, by the way. I had yellow, green, red, blue, gray, black, translucent.
I had the see-through purple one.
See-through purple, see-through aqua, see-through fucking every... Love those fucking controllers.
Yeah. It's such a fucking...
Rumble Pack. Come on.
That's
such
Rumble
a...
Pack.
And it's like,
Got that from
I say
KB.
this lovingly, it's such a bad controller in so many ways.
Now it is.
Because, like, the third handle, the leftmost handle was never, like, used. You know what I mean? Like, one of the handles was never in use when you were playing.
The middle one.
Depending on the game.
That was the D-pad.
The middle one had the analog stick. And
Yeah,
the left
the left
had
one was
the
a D-pad.
Yeah,
Left
that's what
one
I'm
was
saying. The left one was never used.
Yeah, that was to change the camera or swap items
Exactly.
or
It was
something.
never handled.
Right.
So, I mean, Mario Party, though, such a great fucking game. And they still, you know, the latest one was pretty fucking good, too. But
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and give you my list. Number 3 would be on the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Mario Brothers 3. And one of my favorite memories of that game is that actually the reveal trailer for it was a live-action demo in the movie The Wizard with Fred Savage. So in the movie The Wizard, Fred Savage's younger brother is like a savant for video games. He's like the first pro gamer, and they go on tour, and he plays in tournaments and things like that. And the last tournament that he's in, the finals, is a game that no one's played. And they reveal Super Mario Brothers 3 for the first time, and he plays it, and he gets the raccoon hat, and he's
that's
flying.
what I was going to ask. Is that the one where they introduced the raccoon hat?
Yeah, fucking amazing.
And that is that...
And the Tanuki suit.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's like the Japanese bear fox thing.
Yes.
But it turns into a stone statue, and they can't see him.
Okay. Which one was the first one to introduce the flower with the fireballs? Was
That's
that
the
first one?
very first one.
Very first.
Or like the white suit? Is that also?
That's the fireball suit.
Yeah, the white and red suit is a fireball suit.
Yeah. His suits were always. I mean, 64 was also defined by like the metal suit, the flying cap.
I will
Those
say
are
one
three-
thing about Mario series games is that, like, if I have the option to play as other characters, I still play as Mario.
Oh, all the time. Going into number 2, I would say
Wait, anything else about 3 that you wanted to mention?
it's just a timeless game. I mean, even still to this day, you can pick it up, play it, and it really holds up. I think in terms of longevity purposes, Mario games, there's nothing that even comes close to comparing to them in terms of a 35, 40-year-old game that you can still pick up today, play it, and it's just as good.
Yeah.
Regardless of your age level or if you've played it, not played it, I can still go back and play any of those Mario games. So there's a long list, but we're just going to keep it to 3, and we definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments of what your favorite Mario game of all time is. Number 2 on the list for me, similar to you, Chris, would be Super Mario World. For the Super Nintendo. That was a launch game. That was the game that came with the Super Nintendo console. Amazing game. The haunted castles, the cape flying, the sound quality in that game was ahead of the curve. And then the fact that you can actually physically jump on Yoshi for the first time. I love the Star World. I love all the secrets. I love all the shortcuts.
And as a kid, you loved Yoshi. That's like that was
Oh,
like the
yeah.
baby Yoda of our time.
It was.
Yoshi.
Really, he was like, yeah, he was. And then, no surprise, the greatest Mario game of all time. Although Galaxies was very good, Mario Sunshine, I would say honorable mention. It's just a very charming game for me on the GameCube. I love the whole
weird to
summer
me.
and water and I just love water and I love water sports and water guns and things like that. That's not number 3.
It is
Number 3 is
based very
Super
much on
Mario, Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64. But honorable mention would be Sunshine for me. I love Sunshine, and even the new Mario that was
Odyssey
on Switch.
was really
Odyssey
good.
was a phenomenal.
Odyssey was a callback to 64, and that's why it was so
Phenomenal.
good because they kept all the things that were perfect about it, and it felt very much like you were playing 64.
Rob, as the resident Mario aficionado and a Mario cosplayer,
Should I get the hat for this? Is it over there? It's over there.
you're not going to get up. You're not going to
No,
get it.
I'm not getting
All right, give us your 3, and then we'll go into the comments and
I'll
see
get
what
the
everybody's
fucking
saying.
I just feel like I'm
I'm not getting it.
He's going to get the hat. All right.
repeating. No, don't do it.
I don't want
You
to.
can't put it on with the
I'm gonna
headset
make the
on.
noise. Fucking if I.
He's wearing a headset.
Bleh. I mean, I feel like I'm just like a broken record now because everybody gives their answer and it's all the same shit.
Help.
I will agree with Joe. Super Mario Brothers 3 is definitely on my probably number 3 for me. That was my favorite of the Mario games, despite the original Super Mario Brothers being the one that I played the most and beaten the most.
Mario 2 is very underrated. It was the
Mario-
first game that allowed you to
Trying to
play
remember.
other
Mario
characters.
2, no, so this is Derek. Of course, with the exception of the main overworld theme of Super Mario Brothers. The main overworld theme of Super Mario Brothers 2 is in my top video game music of all time.
Oh, God. Amazing.
Love
Yeah,
that music.
Yeah, the
Amazing
music.
boss battles as well. In that
And
game.
it's all Doki Doki Panic with just Mario characters.
What
We've
exactly
gone
what
over
it
that
is.
whole story. It's
Yeah.
a Japanese game that they, basically put the Mario characters in. And they released Super Mario Brothers 2 in Japan. And it wasn't released in America until the Mario All-Stars Super Nintendo released as Mario's Lost Levels. They felt that it was too repetitive and more difficult because it was
very difficult.
It basically starts off with the difficulty of World 8-8 and just gets harder from then on. So that's why they figured it wasn't going to sell well.
the
in
American
America.
crowd, the 5-year-old kids weren't beating.
They're
the
like,
fucking
no,
game.
we can't do this.
One of the best things about any Mario game, though, is there's always like these secret insider shortcuts that you
Love
can
that
take
shit.
to like jump
Love
all the
that
way to the
shit.
end of the game.
And this new game is no stranger to that as well. So there's a lot of stuff to find other than just getting through the goalpost.
I wanted to mention about that. You haven't even played it with anybody, right? Because that's
No,
part
I
of it,
haven't-
isn't it? Multiplayer.
You can do multiplayer on this new game. I was, talking about that. It has, all the characters and you can play it, remotely, which is really nice. But so number 3 is Super Mario Brothers 3. Number 2, I will say Super Mario World, like everybody else, because that was the one I really built my bones on. Like, yeah, I had my original Nintendo. I was really little when we had that. We got that my first, or second Christmas. It was Christmas of '89 we got the Nintendo. So I think I was in first grade when we got the Super Nintendo. So that's when I was, really starting to, play video games a lot.
Super Nintendo,
So,
Sega
The
Genesis.
Super Nintendo used to stay in my brother's room, and the Sega Genesis was in my room.
When I was that
But
broke man, I
with-
couldn't picture this.
With the Mario games, I distinctly remember all the you could just it just pulls you right back into those memories, and I absolutely love that game. And there's so many honorable mentions that you can make for number
It's
one.
never
for
been
me.
a bad Mario game. Never.
It's tough, and this will surprise a lot of people, but
Dr. Mario.
I would say
My
that
sister.
Like a main Mario game.
I would say that Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy are almost in the same vein for me. Because
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Mario 64 for the nostalgia factor, but Mario Galaxy because that was the first. The Wii was the first system I ever bought myself. I
Really?
remember popping that game in, and the da 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 da, and the whole the colors and I remember getting the poster and the guide and stuff. So I was really into Mario Galaxy when that game came out. I will give it to Mario 64 over Galaxy. Galaxy's going to be my honorable mention. But there's been so many great Mario games over
All
the
of
years.
them.
I mean, you could argue that
All of
Super
them.
Smash
even
Brothers is a
even
Mario,
Mario
game.
Luigi Superstar Saga on the fucking Game Boy Advance. was
Luigi's
great.
Mansion is an offshoot.
Super
of
Mario Land on the Game Boy, phenomenal game.
Yes.
That game sold Game Boys.
Dr.
Oh
Mario.
my god.
That I mean, we're talking about main Mario games, not
Sure. It's just it's off. So to that point,
Mario Paint was great.
Tricky Ricky made a bold
Tricky
statement
Ricky's
here.
back.
Tricky Ricky
He's
is
back
in the house,
saddle, brother. Here we
and
go.
we're gonna have to give him some lashings here. He said that Zelda was better than Mario.
So
which I can see how somebody can make that case.
So
like
it
Zelda
depends
games
on
in
what-
general.
what version.
Zelda? Like what are we talking
if
about?
you're talking about the original Super Mario Brothers versus the original Legend of Zelda, I will agree with you.
Well, but they were different
no.
time.
The original Mario Brothers is far better than the original Zelda. There's just no question about that.
I would
So
agree.
to-
I agree
but
with
today's games, you would say
It's,
Zelda's
it's
are
a
better.
better game. You know what I mean? It's,
Here's the thing, though, and when
but
I
if you
saw
get
that,
a Zelda game today,
It's they're so tough though because A Link to the Past is still to this day my favorite video game of all time, and that was the Zelda game on the Super Nintendo. As much as I love Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I don't care what you say. I know you can say Ocarina of Time. You didn't
Nah,
play any of them.
Hear me
whatever.
out, though.
That's my favorite fucking game of all time. I love that game.
And that could be true, but I'm going to say something that will be irrefutable. Nintendo could exist.
You can kill stuff in Mario, like mushrooms and
No,
stuff.
Nintendo could. You could crush turts.
Goomba. Fuck
No, listen. Nintendo could exist without Zelda. It could not exist without Mario.
That's irrelevant though. That's like saying you don't.
How's that irrelevant? You can't just dismiss it and say irrelevant. Fucking wash it off. How is that? Nintendo would not exist
I get
without
it.
Mario,
One
but it could exist
one
without,
is
without
Mario is Mickey Mouse,
And the other Donald
and the
Duck.
other one's Donald Duck.
I
You
get
know what I mean?
Yeah. So fuck
You're-
Zelda.
You're
I'm just kidding. I just wanted to-
Chris always has to be, it's the Shawn Michaels group.
We do have some comments here.
Shawn Michaels. I'm wearing a Bret Hart
Beyond
shirt.
that, from the dungeon said that he has the wizard on VHS.
Fucking great movie.
That would be funny, Matt. Dungeon, when we finally get you here live on the show, we should watch. We should just do a watch along.
We do a live watch along.
Yeah, Donnie Brasco.
Savage.
Watch along?
Donnie Brasco. We're gonna watch that first because Chris has to watch it.
Star World colored Yoshi's. Yao's here.
Renee, number
Renee's in
one,
the house.
Mario
Yay.
64. He
Yeah.
agrees with us.
I mean,
What's up,
it is.
Renee?
It's it is honestly. Fuck. Oh, we had some ratings here from the dungeon. Said Super Mario 3, Super Mario World, and Super Mario 2.
Wow, he likes Super Mario 2 as the best of all time. He's like my friend John. He
Wow.
likes the Doki Doki Panic.
And then Little Joe said Donnie Brasco.
Donnie.
Shit.
I'm known, Donnie.
Well, you guys, you wanted to keep this at an hour and a half, right? And it's almost 10 o'clock.
Well, didn't you have a rant that you wanted to unleash? You had something.
I think I did already. My rant was. Did I?
About Spider-Man.
There was something else you said before we started. If there was time you wanted to go through, I do want to shout out from the dungeon. Said in the comments, Ric Flair in AEW. I don't know if you saw on Dynamite. Ric Flair
He's gonna
came
die
out.
in the ring. I
He's
swear
there
to
for
God.
Sting.
It might. I mean, he
There for
can't.
Be a
Sting.
sin,
He's there for
especially the way
Sting.
that they botch moves over there.
Hey, yeah, I know.
Forget it.
Botch moves over
That
there.
They
happened.
fucking botch them over there.
Rob, do you
some
want to plug?
recently.
You want to plug?
Oh
CJ?
no!
see?
Speaking of
Was that right?
plugs, I promised
yeah.
that we would plug this.
Yeah,
here.
you said that.
So we have a friend, Eric. I'm just trying to pull up his information here.
Information.
Help.
Eric O'Connor. You can look at his Instagram. It's Eric the Real OC. Just like I spell it out there, Eric the Real OC. And he's got a Kickstarter that we will link. I'll link in the YouTube in just a second. We'll also put it in the episode description after this. And he's been working on what we call a graphic novel or comic
Yeah.
of sorts. It's called Euphoria, the Killer Story.
It's colored in a similar vein to like a Frank Miller, where it's black and white with the red.
Right. And because I didn't get mine yet. I signed up. I backed the Kickstarter.
I have the first issue.
Nice.
I bumped into him at
Wally's.
Eternal Con, actually. He came over to my table and he brought me his first
Fucking
issue
Wally's.
and a sticker to go along with it.
Can I just tell you? So, just for some background, I mentioned this on the show a little while ago.
It's really good.
I went to Wally's when I first was talking to him, and I mentioned you. This is the guy that went into his wallet. He reached into his wallet and pulled out your business card, and was like, "I met him. I have his card still. I kept it because I thought it was the greatest thing ever." And I told him how we have the podcast. So, yes, if you'd like to support a friend of the show and also a hardworking employee of Wally's, who we love and endorse frequently on the show, the greatest
Put his
bagels in the
handle
world.
in the comments.
Yes, I'm going to do that. I can't do it on the computer here, so once I stop talking. But, again, his Instagram handle is Eric the Real OC. If you look on Kickstarter, we'll throw the link in just a moment in the description and in the episode description for the Kickstarter. Euphoria, the killer story. Definitely pretty cool. I wish that I set up beforehand the web browser fucking picture.
And one
but we're
other
gonna do.
shout out I want to make sure we do before the show ends. Tomorrow in Westbury, one of my best friends in the world, CJ, the great Bambino.
Who's a friend of the
CJ
pod, guest of the
Antonino.
pod multiple
He's been
times.
on the show. He's going to be facing off against ECW legend Tommy Dreamer in Westbury with the NYWC Wrestling Group. And I'm going to definitely be there to support him.
EC fucking W.
Come out and see a hell of a show.
EC
General admission
EC dub.
tickets are still on sale for $40. I believe the first 3 rows are sold out already. But I
Hanging
just
from
got
the
G.
rafters, brother.
I can't wait to see him kill it. He always puts on a hell of a show. He puts his heart into everything that he does. He's a true lover of the sport of wrestling, and you know, I'm very proud of him and the achievements that he's made in that industry. He's worked very, very hard for them, and it's well deserved. So I'll definitely be out there to support him for his wrestling show, and I'll have I don't think we're gonna have another episode until after this. November 4th, I'm going to be doing the Cask Ale Festival. Actually, it might be the day after the next episode.
November 3rd is next week. That's a Friday. We'll
Yeah,
be good.
so November 4th at Blue Point Brewery, I'm going to be doing the Cask Ale Festival once again as the real life Peter Griffin. They're going to be having a growler made of a keg, actually. It's one small single cask keg of Pawtucket Patriot Ale to go along with my appearance there. You can purchase tickets, I think, on the Blue Point Brewery website. And it's always a really good time. It's like a fucking circus tent, lined every fucking corner of the tent is lined with all different casks of ales from breweries all over the country, and it's a wild time. And
maybe we'll
really
come
nice
to that next
people.
Saturday.
Yeah,
And also before the next
Fun.
episode next week, we're gonna be maybe we'll be a little drunk because we're gonna make some sangria, right?
yeah. So
that's
Jackie's
actually,
gonna make his sangria.
That's right.
I got all the ingredients. We're just gonna have to get some fresh fruit day of.
So next week will actually be a very special episode of the Break Room Podcast. Vin will be back from his trip to Lambeau Field. It is
Lambeau.
officially going to be our 2-year anniversary and the first episode of Season 3 of the Break Room Podcast. So we just want to thank you to all our loyal subscribers and people who comment and jump in all of our lives and comment on all of our videos. We've been doing this now for almost 2 years. We really appreciate you. We love you. And go home, Yoko.
All right, guys. This has been the Break Room Podcast. If you like the show, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, tell your friends. Come tune in next week for our 2-year anniversary. Snoochie Boochies, and may the force be with you.